time for our final panel, Crafting Success, Entrepreneurial Journeys. In this panel, we will be discussing the different journeys from entrepreneurial experiences. And this panel will be led by Mitra. Please give her a very warm welcome.
Hi, so I'm Mitra. I'm a 13-year-old learner here at Quest. Some of my interests are architecture, carpentry, painting, and I can't think of anything else. so, yeah. So, as our first panelist here today, please welcome Kyle, founder of Essential Traditions and owner of Hibiscus Cafe. With a background in electronics and communications and experience at Yes Bank, Kyle and Kyle's what? Am I?
You want me to help you?
No, I accidentally edited it.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's a good introduction.
No, okay. So Kyle's business incorporates what?
No, I run Hibiscus
Yeah.
and I have essential tradition, so that's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the rest is kind of jumbled up. So we're excited to hear Kyle's perspectives today.
Thank you so much.
And next up, we have Akshaya Jayakumar, the founder of Mana, an architectural practice. She brings about a decade of architectural expertise to our panel, and with a master's degree from CEPT and work experience at KSM Architecture, she's crafted memorable spaces. Her practice Mana incorporates architecture through Spaces by Mana and pottery through Objects by Mana. We look forward to hearing Akshaya's insights on her entrepreneurial journey. Lastly, we have Akshay Parikh. Before he founded Skilo DIY, he worked with companies like Dell, HSBC, and Wingman. Last year, he decided to use that experience to start his own company, Skilo DIY. The company has grown just from having operations in Chennai to Hyderabad, Bangalore, Coimbatore, and Mumbai. We're eager to hear about Akshay's entrepreneurial journey. Okay, so Kyle, my first question is for you. What made you want to start a culinary business?
Okay, so it wasn't like a conscious decision that I made. We found a place for rent on ECR. It was a wonderful location, and it had a big kitchen. So I wanted to make use of the kitchen, and I, thought of having a continental style restaurant there, and that's the story. That's the honest truth. There was no idea of having a restaurant. I was very happy with whatever I was doing. I run this traditional cookware line, and I was very happy with it. I had about 4 or 5 stores at that point, and I was very much satisfied. But this came as a surprise, and it was a very good surprise, in fact, and I just went with it. So that's how Hibiscus Cafe came.
Wow. Okay. So, Akshaya, what was the process of starting a business like for you?
So, starting the transition to independent practice was very organic for me. So, I was lucky enough to work in an office that did not restrict, doing projects on your own when you're working. So, I began accepting smaller projects that I could manage with my time after work. And I had interest in pottery, so I used to take up custom orders and do small workshops and stuff. So when I was trying to build a business, it was more like trying to build a structure for the business because I have two interests and trying to combine them. So my focus was on how to combine these two, and that's more like more than a business. It's like a personal creative project. So where it's like a reflection of my mind, thought, and purpose, and that's what Mana literally translates to: mind, thought, and purpose. And so I have categorized it into Spaces by Mana for architecture and Objects by Mana for products and pottery. Yes.
Okay. So, Akshay, how did you come up with this idea for your business?
Um, is this audible? Yeah. So I've always felt that I I wanted to be, be an entrepreneur since I finished my MBA, which is about like I think 7 years ago. So entrepreneurship was always there, and I always kept looking for ideas where I could feel that there's a need for it, like somewhere where there's a market and not many players there. So this was always there at the back of my mind, and with that I was always looking for opportunities. And one such opportunity was where I felt that as a child, through all my learnings, I did not learn certain very basic skills, like if I had to drill a wall clock on a drill and hang a wall clock, or let's say fix a leaking flush. Right, so these kind of things I felt like I didn't learn, and that was just the basic idea. I thought that maybe I can work on something, having this kind of teaching taught in schools. And with that idea, I just made a small summer camp for about 10 days, and I gathered about 35 children. We had 2 days carpentry, we had 2 days pottery, we had 2 days financial literacy, and all of it taught by experts, not by me. So that when we did that, I just wanted to test out that what I feel resonates with other parents and children as well. And to my understanding, the summer camp was a big hit. We got a lot of positive feedback, and parents appreciated it. Children loved it. So that gave me a lot of boost, confidence boost, that okay, this is something that I can work on. And with that, I was still working, with my corporate career, and while we did the summer camp, and post the summer camp I decided to make it more mainstream, to actually do it. However, I faced a lot of challenges while realizing that economically it did not make much sense, and even operationally I was finding it very difficult, because you need the right kind of instructor. Like if you want to teach plumbing, how do you actually get someone who is good and efficient at plumbing, and at the same time is willing to teach it in schools. So that became a very big problem, and even if you do it in one or two schools, you couldn't scale it, and if you couldn't scale it, it doesn't become a feasible model for me. So that's why I was just dabbling with the idea here and there. In the midst of all this, I started doing workshops. We were doing art workshops, carpentry workshops. In fact, Harish Chugani, who works with Quest, was part of Skillo's summer camp. So while doing all of this, one of the customers came up to me and just requested that, hi, can you, do a workshop for my child's birthday party? And I was like, yeah, sure. We were eager to get work. And once we did the workshop for a children's birthday party, we curated it in a different way and all of it. So it instantly became like a hit. A lot of parents who came to that birthday party, appreciated it, and we got 2-3 birthday parties very in quick succession after that. So I felt like, okay, this is a great model. What I was trying to do, I couldn't do. It went on the back burner, and this became the main thing. So today, the name, what was thought was Skillo, which is teaching skills, has stuck, but we are no longer doing that. In fact, we are in the business of creating activity stations in events. It could be birthday parties, it could be weddings, it could be corporate events. That's what we do today. But luckily, it has grown. However, now I feel that I do want to revisit the previous idea with the experience, and so when I was doing it, I was alone, and I had my girlfriend, now my wife, and my brother doing it. We all three were doing it together. So now we are a slightly more bigger team. We are about 15 people. So I feel like we have more resources and experience to try something on a more larger scale, which would be the initial idea of Skill.
Okay. So this next question is kind of for all of you, because it's. So what would you say are some of the difficulties you faced while starting your business, and how did you resolve them, if you ever did?
I think initially the biggest challenge was time management because you are trying to do it all, juggling too many roles. But more than that, I think the biggest challenge was to find the right client for me. Because if the wavelength doesn't match, if the client doesn't resonate, his or her likes and aesthetics don't match with yours, it's very difficult because it's a creative field and you sort of get into a creative block, and you have no interest to work in it. So And especially in the initial phase, when you're trying to get more projects, people are going to come and ask you how many projects you've done. So you tend to just say okay to it and accept whatever comes your way. Uh, but learning to say no uh, uh, was also part of the process. So how I try to do that was I always make it a point to have a discussion with the client before I make a pitch for the project. So I'm happy that I've reached a place where I can say um, I'm able to have discussions and then tell them that maybe it won't work out. So just to give you an example, say if it's a residential project, in fact, it makes it even more better if you meet the client at their residence. So they also have a reference to know what they want and what they don't want, and there is some sort of clarity, and you also try to understand their likes and dislikes. So you understand whether how the wavelength, you'll be able to gauge how the wavelength would be. So that, I think that's how I have tried to overcome that.
Okay, I'll go next. So, for me, the biggest issue with running a business was not the business itself. I think for me it was more about understanding myself. This was about creating an identity for myself. All along, I started the business at 32, and I really don't think I understood who I was at that point of time. And it was mostly about understanding myself, what I can, what I can't. I thought I was just not a creative person at all, but when I first started the business, it was all me. Everything was me, starting from sourcing to marketing to customer service to packing to delivering. Everything was done by one person. I don't think I would have believed that I was capable of doing something like that. Um, the brand is called Essential Traditions by Kyle for a reason. And today I do have a lot of people who help me out. I was able to scale from a one room space to, I have branches in Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai. And it was made possible because of a lot of help that I got, both from, my family side of it and professionally from a lot of people. But it started with me. And I'm extremely proud about saying that and having my name, on the logo over there, because I don't think I saw myself as that person. I don't think I believed in myself. I am still a very, introverted person. I don't talk much, but I am starting to talk now. And that was probably the biggest difficulty that I had, because once I was able to, cross that line which I had drawn for myself, everything seemed to be easy. Everything just fell in place for me. So I think it's about me understanding myself, understanding what I could, what I can't, and facing the challenges which, I had to face with a very enthusiastic uh, manner. That's how I see it.
I think for me it was about meeting cafe owners. Yeah. So we had to do like when we wanted to do workshops and even for birthday parties, the first 2 3 birthday parties also. So the customer would ask us that hi, can you suggest us a place, and we didn't want to lose the deal. So what I would do is I would call up cafes or try to get in touch with managers. If the owners are very difficult actually to meet them. No, it's honestly, I'm not aiming it at you, Kyle, but yeah, in general, very difficult, right, to meet them. So it became a very big challenge because see, you want to give the customer a whole round experience, right? You want to tell them that okay, I can help you with the venue also, can put you in touch with someone. So that was a very big challenge. And second was marketing. You're just starting out, so you don't know how do you reach out to people? Instagram is a blessing for us that way. I think it has helped us reach a lot of people through that. But initially, when we started, we didn't have that much of a reach. So what helped is, like, I remember going to Express Avenue Mall and giving out pamphlets and telling people that we are doing something like this, trying to educate people. So marketing, and then maybe having the right contacts, like for cafe owners. Yeah, that would have been difficult.
Wow. Okay. So, Kyle, the next question is for you. This is also regarding marketing. How exactly do you find customers? Like,
So initially, it used to be word of mouth for me, and it still really works well. When you pay attention to each customer, they just bring you back more. But Instagram help a lot, and Instagram and Facebook, that's what helped me. Um, Recent past, we've been doing a lot of influencer marketing, which is also something like customer management. But influencer marketing has also helped.
Akshaya, earlier you used to work for a different architecture firm. What made you want to start your own practice, and would you suggest that for newer architects?
I think my work experience gave me like a solid foundation and enough confidence to practice independently. Um, but starting my own practice allowed me to blend my interests together, both architecture and pottery. So in that way, uh, and also I think every creative person has this urge to express their own style in their work, and having that creative freedom in all of that. So in that case, if you have the clarity and the confidence, you should definitely go for it.
And Akshay, what would you say sets your business apart from others? Like,
So, in the business of like doing art parties, I don't think we have a lot of direct competitors, right? There are a lot of indirect competitors. Like there are a lot of artists out there trying to who would be doing workshops at parties or weddings. What sets us apart is maybe I might be obnoxious. It's just that I think we have truly dreamed big on a much more bigger scale than a lot of people. So most of them who are doing let's say some kind of art party. Like canvas painting, sip and paints, and all of them treat it like a side hustle. They have something else also going on, and then on the weekends they want to do that. We are not that. Actually, I am dead serious about making parties fun. So I think our seriousness and our our very single-minded focus on just making it a really big deal is what maybe sets us apart, and that's something that vision has helped us grow very very exponentially, at least in the last 1 year. I hope it remains the same. Yeah.
okay, this next question is again for all of you. What are your future goals for your business? Like, and yeah, what are your future goals?
Okay, I'll go. Um, so the immediate future is having a completely vegetarian restaurant which focuses on using um, traditional cookware only, and serving almost farm to table, all in organic ingredients. So that's the idea of future for me. Another restaurant.
For me, it is to probably get into digital marketing, because I completely rely on word of mouth referrals right now. So that would be my next point of focus. I don't know my bigger plan yet, but that's my next step.
Um, for me, it's about growing into as many cities as possible. So currently we are there in 5 cities, and we plan to grow both horizontally as well as vertically. We want to grow into more new cities, the northern part of this country, and as well as So right now we are doing a lot of birthday party events. We have started doing a few of corporate events and weddings. We want to expand more within that as well.
Okay. Uh, I was okay. How are you planning on expanding it? Like, how this
Uh,
kind of, in a way, you kind of answered it, but for the other
okay.
two.
To me?
So all of you, how do you plan on expanding your business?
Yeah, like I said, we already have a test kitchen where we test out, regional recipes. So it'll focus more on South Indian breakfast, dinner type recipes. Recipes which you've not really heard of, which you've not really tried here in Chennai and things like that. So for example, we are doing Ramaseri idli. That is not something which you easily get everywhere. We are trying to do undi pundi, that is like, another very specific Kannadiga dish and things like that. We're doing a Kerala style appam, but that is also again not something available everywhere. So we're trying different things, and once we set the menu, then we'll be able to open the restaurant. So that's how exactly.
Okay, so far these are all the questions I've prepared. This actually went a lot quicker than I expected. So yeah, so does anybody in the audience have any questions for them? Anybody? Okay.
It's very inspiring to hear all your journey. So I aspire to be an entrepreneur as well. So, but I have a lot of starting trouble. Like, how do I get started? That's something I think I have been struggling with a lot. But I have started something now. But there are 100 things I want to do. How do you get that focus? How do you choose, okay, I like this, I like this, I like this, but how do I choose what I actually want to do? How is your thought process? Because I want to hear it from you all, saying, I know you said, I saw a space, I just want to do it. That is a goal for me, right? It's very simple, it's very practical. But for me, it's like my heart flutters when I see anything new. Like, oh, I want to do that. So help me how you sort of process your ideas and turn them into actions. So that's my question. Sorry, it's more than a question.
Okay, so I think it goes back to the same thing for me at least. I don't really, look at it, okay, 10 years from now, what should it be? Or 5 years from now, 1 year from now. I don't look at it that way. So it all started small. So when I started it, I didn't really think about, oh, I want to have stores in 15 different countries. No, I do have the opportunity now, but I don't think about it like that. It's one day at a time for me. And you just need to have some form of discipline and understand your boundaries, your limits, what are all your faults, what is not, what is the advantage here, all of your pros and cons, and then go from there. One person can do a limited amount of things. So once we understand that, I think, you sort of have your path there. That's what I think.
Maybe a quick one from each of you. What's been your hardest fall and how did you pick yourself up from it? In case you've not had one, that's great. But if you did,
I think COVID was probably the hardest fall. And you just have to stick it out. Just be patient and stick it out and stay calm. And I think all of us can get through it. That was my experience.
Thinking.
That means you've not had.
I think we have had a couple of falls, but the biggest one would be like we were trying to do return gifts as well. Like we are already in the birthday party, so why not do return gifts which we can cater to all over India across e-commerce. That was our, I think, the biggest fall. We put a lot of time and efforts into it, about 6 to 7 months. Trying to get the perfect box, trying to find a delivery partner, everything. And we thought, it's going to be an easy market because we were selling return gifts while doing birthday parties itself without actually promoting. However, when we did start promoting it and putting it on our website and everything, for some reason it didn't click. I think the entire office was very down. We all were feeling very dejected. And so far yet, actually, it has not yet picked up. So I don't know how to answer the other part of the question. How did you pick yourself up? But the other things are going on well. So I think that's. Yeah.
So my question is related to challenges related to your team or people. Um, what would be your north star or a guiding post for building your team, or is it some which just organically evolves? Because I'm asking that because at Quest we that's the biggest that's the most precious in any service or business. That's the most precious resource. And how do you go about actually building your team?
Okay, I'm an entrepreneur, but I would call myself a full-time therapist. I sit, talk with people, like almost on a daily basis. Um, you really need to understand why, how, what of everybody, who's there for you. And nothing works without the team. And I think you need to give the most amount of attention to that. If that works, and if you know where you are with respect to the people that you have, the way forward is, like I said, it just happens. So I've learned a lot. Being an introvert, it's difficult to, talk to people and understand what they're trying to say without them having to say in most of the times. Especially for me, in the case of men, it's very difficult for me to talk to them and understand what's happening, there. No, really. It's so much easier for women because, we talk. At some level, we'll understand. For men, it would probably be the dank opposite of what I was thinking. And it's true with Dhruva, it's true with Aditya, and, yeah, two sons. So they are helping me understand, but still, I'm always guessing. But it really helps. Once you start talking and you create that comfort level, they just knock at your door. And sometimes I felt like, I am not a mom, please stop this. There's so much of information they'll give you. But you have that level of comfort, and then, it makes things so much easier for people to show up, for people to, be there through the hard times. And yeah, so if you are there, they are also there. I've seen that. And people who don't really, are not in the same zone as you, they just drop out. It actually makes it easier, trust me, for them to drop out and accept that this is not the place for me. It's so much easier than wasting time, effort, and emotions and all that. So, yeah.
I think for me it's more about experimenting, and luckily it's also project basis. So if it doesn't work out in this project, I go to a different consultant. So, and when it starts clicking, and when your ideologies match, your way of working matches, you just continue working with them. Easy. Yeah. It's easy.
For me, yeah, hiring is still a very big challenge because we are not a very known brand. We're very, very young. So, a lot of people would not want to join you. In fact, I went to MOP college asking the HOD that, hi, I want to hire a few interns. This was last year. And I thought they might be actually happy that someone is ready to give internship, but that wasn't the case, right? So the HOD just, sent a message but not with the correct link and everything. So basically it is very difficult. What we are doing like right now, which is helping us, is that mostly people who are joining us are not joining us for the money, though we do pay decently well. It's mostly because the other people working over there, they are either friends of them, and they appreciate the kind of work culture that there is. It's not a very strict rule. There is flexibility in terms of, we have flexible leaves, and work timings are flexible. So I think the other perks is what is helping us attract good talent. But what is good talent is very difficult to judge. So it's right, like we are 15 of us today, and this is been like only in the last 1 year, right? So uh, we were like, I think we've hired and fired about 5 to 6 within very quick succession, within like 2 3 weeks, and it's mutual. We understand, like, when it's not working out for you either, it's not working out for us either. So yeah, like, Akshay was saying, it's a lot of experimenting, but we keep it very open. So we always say that, okay, look, the first month is going to be a probation month, where it's for either of us to understand if, if you would like to work with us, and even we would like to work with you. So in that way, we see that, okay, if this is going to happen in that 1 month, and if it happens, then we take it forward for a good time.
May I ask my question? So my question is, what do you see as your responsibility socially as entrepreneurs?
For me, I think right now, the biggest thing I'm feeling is plastic. I don't know. All of a sudden, it's, yeah, because we use a lot of material. So we give, in a party. So we have aprons, we have so many paint brushes, we have cleaning materials, all of it. So actually, the amount of waste that we are generating is very high, and so we are using a paintbrush, for an art party, and we would like to use the same paintbrush otherwise, because children are hardly using it for like 5 to 6 minutes. It can actually be used for about 10 12 times more. But some parents are like, no, we want to give a new paintbrush. We're paying so much, I want to give a new paintbrush. So actually, that's becoming a challenge. Like, how do I'm morally feeling very, very bad always seeing those nice paintbrushes going to waste. So that's a responsibility. Sorry. No. So basically, I feel like that's a responsibility that we have to take it forward. Like, how to eliminate single-use materials. Yeah, that's something.
For me, it would be using natural materials for my projects. And pottery, anyway, it's very eco-friendly. So that's why my interest also lies in, building earth buildings, or, trying to minimize concrete and all of that. So that's why I also have that before I pitch for a project, I discuss with the client if the ideologies match. I prefer to take up projects.
So when I first began Essential Traditions, I wanted to do it because I wanted to have traditional cookware, a branded traditional cookware. So in order for me to do that, I had to source all of my cookware directly from artisans. And as I started researching more about what are all the cookware that were being used, why isn't it being used now, and things like that, and I started meeting people who were actually making it and why they are not making it anymore. To be very specific, soapstone cookware, culture tea. When I first started, sourcing it, this was like 8 years ago. There were just two people whose family was doing this in Namakkal, because that's where the source of the stones are, and that's cookware grade stones. Only 2 families were doing it. Today, we have about 4 to 5 villages that's doing it. Wow. I would say that the impact that the business has had has made so many more people to get into it. And I consider that my social responsibility. When we first opened Where the Organic Store, it was about, how organic food needs to be a part of everybody's, lifestyle and all of that. And it was a uphill battle, and it still is an uphill battle, because, getting proper sourcing, finding the right people to buy things from, it's still a challenge. Even today, Sriram struggles with finding good greens in the city. It's very difficult. But the struggle is not something that is viewed by customers. It's only the product that people can see, So the struggle is definitely there. But what have you achieved? There have been such a transition in terms of organic farming from what it used to be a decade ago, which by itself is a success. And that is a responsibility that we as entrepreneurs or, retailers hold. We have that technology that we can provide other people in order for them to do so much more than what they thought they were capable of. So I think that is what my social responsibility towards this.
I have a question. So I've always been in awe of entrepreneurs, and hearing all your challenges is like super overwhelming. I just want to understand like what really like, keeps you motivated and keeps you going in this journey. Because all the way you have to keep reinventing yourself. It's like with so many challenges. I just wonder, and I just want to ask this question to all three of you.
I don't know about you two, but I'm slightly, like I get over enthusiastic. I'm very excited when something interests me. I usually don't show it out much because the amount of enthusiasm that I'll be holding inside me is unbelievable. So anything and everything, I'll have to calm myself down and put things down, write, and see if that is the direction that I want to take. Like for example, I found this place, I had a big kitchen there, I had some leftover cookware there, and I just started a restaurant. I don't think anything can be as crazy as that. I invested a lot of money. I still haven't made the money, but I still went ahead and did it. I think that's very special to entrepreneurs, that slightly crazy part of them. It's very, very important, I feel. You have to nurture it and take it in the right direction, if you may.
I think for me, it's the gratification you get from looking at your completed project, because through the process, it's a very difficult journey trying to, manage being answerable for other people's delays or whatever. There have been many times that I would tell myself that this is going to be my last project. But the minute I see it out there, when I walk into that space, it sort of keeps you going.
I think mine is very similar to Kyle's. Like when I get very enthusiastic, whenever I see anything, I really want to do it. I don't think there's any other motivation apart from that. That's really the most driving.
Thank you so much, and it's awesome to see that energy and like to see you people. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or?
All the three ideas that you've presented so far are new and innovative kind of things. So how do you see when somebody just takes it up and recreates in another brand? No plagiarism, you call it, copying, you call it, whatever the term is, but that is very, very happening in the world around. So how do you see that as an entrepreneur when your idea, when your child is just copied and somebody else presents it in another brand, maybe in a bigger way or a smaller way? Did I put it right? Did I?
I have experienced this 2 times. One was when there is a Bangalore-based studio who took our post from Instagram and just edited it with the same. So the child is doing our artwork. With the artwork and the child, they have just removed the background and put it as their work, and they are doing it over there. It really actually it boiled my blood to see that, and we replied to them saying that please remove it. How can you do that and all of this, and they also acknowledged and they removed it. Like they never replied it to us, but a couple of days later, I don't see it on their feed, right? So that, and then the second time was when one of our employees. Who is actually whose father owns a very big fast food chain brand in Chennai, right? So he was working with us, and he took it and like he left. Actually, he was fired. A couple of days later, I see a Instagram ad which says exactly what we were doing under that company's name and Instagram. So that again felt I was very angry. But what I realized is that it's okay if they want to do it, because the struggles behind it are so much that it's like, okay, take it. You want to join in the struggle, do join in. That's all I feel. Yeah. Because if you just want to like instantly copy it, it's very difficult unless and until, like I said, you need to be like dead serious about doing it on, and like you're so serious, you want to do it, you want to make that becomes your life goal. For me today, that is all that I think about, right? So it's very difficult for someone else also to have that same dream and that same focus. They might have something else also going on, and they might be like, oh, this is a good idea, I want to do it, but how long will that is that going to fuel you? Yeah.
I think for me, no two spaces or no two given sites are the same. So um, you can copy the ideology, but you can't exactly copy the same thing unless you are trying to, build a set or something. The challenge is clients coming and showing a Pinterest image and saying, I want this. It's a very difficult task to convince the client and say, no, this is not okay to do, and let's try this and give them work more and give them more options, and that's yeah.
Um, in the beginning stages, when I had first opened my website and I was selling through it, and I saw my exact website being used by somebody else with just the name changed, just the logo alone changed. Everything, my pictures, the cookware, everything was the same thing. And I was in fact very happy because somebody thought it was good enough to be copied. And that kept happening, a lot of people started using my name. It was Essential Traditions or it was Kyle or something or the other. And I only thought that I was doing something right, that people wanted to do the same thing, right? And yes, it is competition. Competition is everywhere. There is no way to escape it, You just can't do away with competition. But what you can do is only what you can do. People can't take away your style. Like we were talking about AI and everything, and that spirit of you cannot be taken away. So yeah, you just have to.
Okay, is that all or? Can you? His mic is off. Yeah, so I guess that's it for today. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.